Hey friends, who's hungry? I am. Today I'm gonna make a family favorite for you. I know it seems like I say that every time that I'm making a family favorite. I love to cook and everything seems to be my family's favorite. But today is my husband's ultimate favorite thing, and it's chicken marsala. And I've got some chicken breasts I picked up today at the grocery store, and they're the thin slice. So with chicken marsala, you either have to buy the thin slice or pound out your chicken breast thinly before you cook them. And in a skillet, I have butter that's melted, and I'm gonna add a little bit of olive oil to it. And the olive oil, the main reason for it is just to keep the butter from burning, because I'm not browning the butter, but I don't want it to burn. All right, and I have a bag of just plain all-purpose flour, and in it, I just simply have salt and pepper. You can see a little bit of the pepper flakes in there. That's all it is. And I'm gonna toss my chicken in it and coat it really well. And it's just gonna be a thin layer. And look how thin these are. Really, really thin. So I'm gonna put those in my bag. I'm gonna put it all in here. And I've got some tenders that I'm gonna cook separately for my husband without flour because he's doing carnivore. All right. And I'm gonna close this up, and yes, I know there's chicken on my hands, but it's okay. Because I'm just gonna put this in the skillet and then wash my hands. But you always want to start with clean hands. All right, today we're gonna be making chicken marsala, and I'm also gonna show you how I do my asparagus. So now, you wanna make sure that you have the chicken completely coated, and it's just a light coating, like it's nothing major. I didn't put any kind of milk in there or anything to wet the chicken. It's just the juices that were in the pan itself. Okay? And so now I'm just gonna lay these down and let these cook. And they don't have to cook through, but I'm gonna let these cook for just a few minutes and flip them. And then I've got two more pieces in here that we'll have to cook in another batch. So, but we're gonna brown this up, and I will be right back. All right, so I'm gonna flip my chicken. It's just been cooking for a couple of minutes, and things are just golden brown, okay? We're not looking to get a lot of color, okay? We just want to get it golden brown, and we're not even worried about cooking it through right now because the sauce is gonna simmer with the chicken in it in a little bit. So I'm gonna finish this off, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've got my first batch of chicken out, and I'm gonna add a little more butter. And I'll put just a tad bit more olive oil in there. And I'm gonna add the rest of my chicken. And one thing I like about dredging my chicken in a bag is when I'm done, I throw it away. It's no big deal. And here's what your chicken cutlets look like. And again, they're not cooked fully through, and that's okay. We're not looking to get it completely done. All right, so I'm gonna cook these off, and I'll be right back. All right, so now I've got some chicken tenders in the skillet, and I'm just seasoning them with salt and pepper, and I'm cooking them in the same pan that I did the breaded chicken, and these are gonna be for my husband. This is something that you could do very easily gluten-free, just by using like chicken tenders for this, or I mean just not using flour, and thickening the sauce with cornstarch. All right, very easily gluten-free friendly at that point, because you want the sauce to make like a gravy. It's what's so good about it. But I'm just gonna get a little bit of color on the tenders, and we're gonna pull those off just like we did the cutlets, the breast, and then I'll be back and I'll show you how to make the sauce. All right, I've got the tenders browned off, and again, they're just putting some color on them is all I'm doing. They're nowhere near done, and that's perfectly a-okay. But now the sauce, it's really yummy. I'm gonna add a little more butter to the pan. Not much, just like another tablespoon of butter. And I still got plenty of residual olive oil. Okay. And then I've got a whole pound of cremini mushrooms that I've washed and cut up. And I'm gonna put those in. And I've got about 4 cloves of garlic that I'm gonna just grate this in. The microplane does wonders for garlic if you've never used one before. And normally I like to use some shallots in this, but I'm out of shallots. So some fresh garlic, I've got the mushrooms, and then the one thing that you cannot make chicken marsala without, or even you could do steak marsala as well, is marsala wine. That is the flavor you want. And you can't just go and be willy-nilly about what marsala wine you use. Not all marsala wine is created equal, all right? And this is what I started using the very first time I made it. Went into the liquor store here in town, over close to where we live, and I didn't know what I was doing. I'd never made it before. My best friend asked me to make it for a church function, and so I started looking at recipes online, found the recipe I wanted to try, tried it, but this Floria, or Florio, I'm not sure how you say it. All I know is this is imported from Italy, and it's dry. You don't want the sweet marsala. That's for desserts. You want the dry marsala wine. And I'm gonna cook these for just a minute, and then I'm gonna deglaze my pan with about a cup of marsala wine, okay? All right, so here we go. Just about a cup. And immediately it's gonna thicken, but it's okay. We're gonna let it cook for just a moment, and I'm gonna add, I've got some fresh thyme, and I'm gonna put some thyme in it, and we're gonna let that cook in it. Just a couple of sprigs of thyme. All right. Now I've got 32 ounces or a box of bone broth, chicken broth. All right, and I'm gonna put some of this in here. And honestly, I'll probably use all of this. Yes, I'm gonna use all of it. All right, and fantastic. I'm just gonna stir, make sure I got all the fond off the bottom, and then all this chicken goes right back in here. All right, we're just gonna slide that in and get everything nice and coated and submerged in the mushrooms and the sauce. And we're gonna put a lid on it, and it's gonna simmer for about 30 minutes, folks. And when it's done, it will be fork tender and make you wanna slap your mama. All right, so we'll finish it up and come back and try it a little bit. Look at that goodness, just bubbling away. We're about to dig in. All right, so here's the finished product. Chicken marsala. It's delicious and so easy to make, and fork tender. Now, I'm a mushroom lover, so I gotta try it with the mushroom. It's gonna be warm. That, just go make it. I promise you. You won't regret it. It's delicious, and your family and friends will love it. And go ahead and give me a shout out if you've had this that I've made before. Hundreds of people have had this. I've catered it for Christmas parties, for weddings. Give me a shout out. Tell me what you think. True opinion of my chicken marsala. All right? I think it's wonderful. And you will too. I'll see you next time.